Welcome to the Just Nuke It podcast. This week on our Apocalyptic probe, we're diving into two pulse-pounding flash fiction stories
Right.
that throw us headfirst into the end of the world and explore how the most unexpected people adapt when everything familiar vanishes. Forget your typical survival guides. These tales offer some intriguing twists on who thrives and why.
I love that.
So, what do you think? What immediately grabs you about these narratives?
Well, I think what immediately grabs me is the choice of protagonists.
Okay.
Instead of focusing on, you know, hardened military types
Yes,
or,
yeah.
wilderness experts,
Yeah.
we are presented with a master thief and a master of poisons.
Mhm.
And it makes you consider how skills honed in a very specific societal context
Mhm.
fare when that context evaporates.
Absolutely. Let's start with our first story, The Last Lockpick, which introduces us to Sparrow, arguably the best thief in the world.
I like him already.
Now, your first thought might be that an apocalypse, where the concept of ownership seems irrelevant, would be his ultimate playground.
Oh,
right?
yeah. 100%. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a natural assumption. In a world without laws or locks, Sparrow's traditional obstacles are gone.
Right.
But the story cleverly subverts this expectation.
Exactly. We see Sparrow navigating a reality where his lockpicking skills are suddenly outdated.
Interesting.
And this forces him into a surprising alliance with law enforcement. Imagine that.
Right. What a twist.
To protect the very idea of possessions. It's a complete role reversal. The master of unlocking is now trying to keep things secure.
Yeah. And this really highlights a fascinating dependency between skill and societal structure. Sparrow's expertise only held value within a system that recognized and protected property. When that system fractures,
Yeah.
the inherent value of his skill diminishes.
And the story doesn't just stop at the world falling apart. It introduces another layer of complexity. Organized bands who actively reject the old ways.
Oh, interesting. These aren't just, your run-of-the-mill looters. They have a clear ideology that clashes directly with Sparrow's past and, surprisingly, his newfound present.
Yeah, it's interesting. This adds an ideological dimension, I think, to the survival narrative. It's not just about scavenging for resources. It's about navigating competing visions for the future, or perhaps the lack thereof.
Yeah.
And these bands challenge the very foundations
Right.
that Sparrow, in his unexpected alliance, is trying to preserve.
Now let's move on to
Okay.
Venom's verdict, which paints a very different picture of the apocalypse. We meet Nightshade, a master of poisons, in a world ending not with a bang, but with a slow, creeping sickness.
Wow.
A plague that even his deadly expertise can't touch. It's a chilling thought, a master of death rendered powerless by a form of death he can't control. Yeah, that is a chilling thought. I mean, precisely. Nightshade's identity is so intrinsically linked to his ability to manipulate and control toxins.
Yeah.
And a global pandemic unleashes death.
Yeah.
On a scale that dwarfs his individual capabilities. And it's just a humbling, perhaps even terrifying experience for him.
Right. And this master of poisons faces an unexpected proposition.
Okay.
A group of survivors offers him a chance to use his knowledge not to kill, but to create life-saving antidotes. It's an incredible pivot. Someone who has built their life around ending lives is suddenly tasked with preserving them.
Yeah, and this presents a profound internal conflict for Nightshade. His entire sense of self is challenged. Can someone so deeply associated with death truly embrace the role of a protector of life?
Right.
It's not just about applying his knowledge in a new direction. It's about a fundamental shift in his moral compass and his understanding of his own capabilities.
Let's dig a little deeper into Sparrow's journey in The Last Lock.
Okay, yeah.
Initially, there's almost a sense that he relishes the chaos, right?
Oh, yeah?
Doors are open, valuables are just lying around.
Yeah, there's certainly an initial period
Yeah.
where his skills seem briefly relevant in a chaotic way. The lack of security presents opportunities. However, this freedom quickly reveals its dark side as these organized bands emerge, demonstrating that the absence of one form of order can lead to more brutal forms of control.
Right. And it's these bands with their rejection of ownership that push Sparrow into this unlikely alliance with Officer Nova and law enforcement. It's the ultimate irony, right?
Oh, yeah.
The world's greatest thief becoming a defender of property rights in a world where those rights are practically meaningless.
I mean, the dynamic between Sparrow and Nova is key here. It forces both
Yeah.
to reconsider their deeply held beliefs about law, order,
Mm.
and the value of possessions. Nova has to trust a criminal, while Sparrow finds himself fighting for a system he once exploited.
Mm.
And what's interesting is the underlying recognition that some form of shared understanding around property, even in a fractured society, might be necessary to prevent complete anarchy.
Right. And Nova's team is this fascinating mix of people.
Okay.
Ex-military, tech experts, even a priest.
Right.
Sparrow, who has always been the ultimate lone wolf, suddenly finds himself part of this makeshift family.
Yeah. And I think this underscores a fundamental human need for connection and purpose, especially during times of crisis. Sparrow's integration into this group suggests that even someone fiercely independent can find a new sense of belonging and utility when faced with overwhelming adversity. And his occasional acts of petty theft, the pen, the hat, could be interpreted as him clinging to remnants of his old identity.
Forging a new one. Now we have the Vault, this almost mythical place filled with pre-apocalypse technology and riches.
Sounds awesome.
Right. It's the ultimate temptation for Sparrow, right? The siren call of everything he used to desire.
Yeah.
But it's also heavily guarded by this warlord named Midas.
Oh, boy.
Who seems determined to hold on to the old ways of valuing things.
Yeah, Midas represents a dangerous form of rigidity, I think. An inability to adapt to the new reality. His obsession with controlling and hoarding pre-apocalypse wealth makes him a threat in this changed world.
Yeah.
And the confrontation at the Vault becomes the pivotal moment where Sparrow's traditional skills are truly tested and ultimately fail.
His lockpicks literally become useless against the Vault's defenses.
Wow.
Which seem warped by Midas's powerful scepter.
Right.
It's a brilliant twist highlighting the obsolescence of his old methods.
So how does he overcome this seemingly insurmountable obstacle?
He's forced to think beyond his traditional skill set.
Okay.
He realizes that the old rules of engagement, even in the realm of thievery, no longer apply. He has to adapt his thinking to find a new approach. That takes into account the changed reality. The story leaves some details to the imagination, but the implication is that his adaptable criminal mind finds a way, not through force or traditional lockpicking, but through a clever exploitation of the new warped reality.
That's brilliant.
Let's switch gears now and look at Nightshade in Venom's verdict. Initially, he seems almost dismissive of the global plague, perhaps viewing it as a crude and uncontrolled form of death compared to his precise and potent concoctions.
Yeah, and there's a sense of irony there. His entire life has been dedicated to the art of controlled death.
Right.
And now he's faced with a form of widespread mortality that is beyond his manipulation, and it likely challenges his sense of mastery, and perhaps even his identity.
Right. But then he encounters Dr. Breyer and the group of survivors who offer him a completely different challenge to use his profound knowledge of poisons to create an antidote, to save lives on a massive scale. It's a radical shift in purpose for someone known only for dealing in death.
Yeah, I mean, the relationship between Nightshade and Dr. Breyer is crucial here. She represents the scientific hope for a cure, while he brings a unique understanding of the very toxins that they are fighting. It's a fascinating juxtaposition of approaches, and his decision to help isn't necessarily a sudden conversion to altruism, but perhaps a new intellectual puzzle, a new way to apply his expertise against the ultimate poison.
And the setting of their makeshift lab in a commandeered schoolhouse really emphasizes the desperate circumstances they're working under. They're not only battling the plague, but also the constant threat of outside dangers.
Yeah, the introduction of raiders adds another layer of conflict and reveals a nascent protective instinct in Nightshade. Despite his lack of combat skills, he steps up to defend their work, indicating a growing investment in the lives of the survivors and the potential of the antidote.
Now, the creation of the antidote is described as this fragile beauty. And in a powerful moment, Nightshade tests it on himself first.
Wow.
It's a symbolic act of shedding his old identity, replacing the familiar sting of poison with the potential for healing.
It's a form of rebirth. The old Nightshade, the dealer of death, is transformed. The mirror scene in the story is particularly resonant, highlighting the external continuity of his appearance. with a profound internal change in his purpose.
And his journey doesn't end with the creation of the antidote. He becomes a vital part of delivering it, leading these caravans of antidotes through the ravaged landscapes. The ultimate assassin becomes an unlikely savior, even earning a new name, Phoenix, that signifies this dramatic transformation.
Yeah, the encounter with the old woman at the edge of the camp is a poignant illustration of his transformation. She still recognizes him as Nightshade, the bringer of death, and his rejection of that name, an embrace of Phoenix, solidifies his new identity. It suggests that while the past may linger, the potential for profound change and redemption exists even in the most extreme circumstances. And his recognition of a fellow connoisseur of death in the Raider is a subtle reminder of his past, but his actions clearly point towards his future.
So reflecting on these two flash fiction stories, what stands out to you about how these characters adapt? When their familiar worlds are destroyed, and the last lockpick, Sparrow the thief, becomes a protector, what does that tell you about the nature of skills and their value in a post-apocalyptic world?
I think Sparrow's story highlights that the value of a skill isn't inherent, but rather tied to the societal structures that recognize and reward it. However, underlying his lockpicking ability is a deeper understanding of human behavior, what people value and how they protect it. And this understanding, it turns out, remains valuable, even when the objects of value change or become scarce. And it suggests that adaptability isn't just about learning new skills, but about finding new applications for existing ones. And understanding enduring aspects of human nature.
And with Nightshade and Venom's verdict, we witness a truly profound transformation. What are your thoughts on his shift from a master of death to a protector of life? What does this tell us about identity and the potential for change, even when someone is so deeply defined by their past actions?
I think Nightshade's journey is a powerful reminder that identity isn't necessarily fixed. Even someone whose life has been dedicated to a particular path can find a new purpose when faced with circumstances that render their old one obsolete or morally conflicting. The apocalypse acts as a crucible, forcing a reevaluation of values and capabilities. His transformation suggests that the capacity for change and even redemption can exist within individuals, regardless of their past.
These flash fiction stories, The Last Lockpick and Venom's Verdict, offer us more than just thrilling glimpses into the apocalypse. They provide thought-provoking scenarios for examining our values, the adaptability of our skills, and our capacity for profound change when everything we know is stripped away. What resonated most with you in these tales? What unexpected roles might we find ourselves in if faced with a cataclysmic shift or a world-ending plague? Keep those thoughts simmering, and be sure to tune in next week for more captivating stories from the Just Nuke It podcast. Rate and follow for more wild tales.